First, our first guest has appeared in more than 500 television shows, but we know her best as Lieutenant Marlena Moreau in the 1967 original series episode Mirror Mirror. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss BarBara Luna. Okay, fasten your seatbelts. He has appeared in over 100 television shows, but we know him and love him best as the mischievous, omnipotent Q and Star Trek The Next Generation and Voyager, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lancie!
Since I acquitted myself so well on Stargate yesterday, I actually only want to talk about Stargate today.
It's not the way I remember it.
Are we on our own here, or are people going to ask us questions?
We are going to take questions from the audience. Who's my other mic stand? Will that be you, Eddie? What we're going to do is we're going to have two people with a microphone at the top of this aisle right here, and also at the top of this aisle down here. We're not going to have a microphone right here because this is where everybody likes to congregate with their cameras, and we're okay with that. So if at any point during the hour you'd like to ask a question, please get out of your chair and walk up to the microphone, and that's how we're going to do this today. Is everybody cool with that? Excellent.
Eric?
Yes, ma'am.
Before we start, I would like to just very quickly thank the people of Dragoncon, Jonathan Tackett and Tom Gennaro and Pat Henry, and please help me thank them for giving us this wonderful opportunity to be together. It is my first time here, and I gotta say that for me, this brings the word awesome to a whole new level. Oh my God. And one more thing. I have one more thing, because this is really serious, and I know that people really want to know this. I want to tell you that William Shatner is a very good kisser. Okay, I'm done.
John, can you corroborate that?
No, but I've been practicing my wide stance.
What does that mean?
Oh, it's a current events thing. What can I tell you?
Oh, what am I missing?
So, questions? We can't hear you. You really have to be on mic.
What was that? Anecdotes?
Well, you know what?
Such as, you mean like backstage stuff?
You know what? Let me tell you some of the things which let me tell you something which let me tell you some of the things which I'm going to be doing in town here in a couple of months. I'm going to be directing an opera at the Atlanta Opera House. About a year and a half ago, I was here directing Tosca, and I'm back directing an opera called Cold Sassy Tree, which is from the which is from the book called Cold Sassy Tree, which is about a town in Georgia. And please come. And if you do come and buy a ticket, I will arrange for. We'll do it in like one group. I'll work it out with the opera company. But I'll take you all backstage because it's a new opera house and it might be something interesting to see. It's called the Cobb Center. Is that right? The Cobb Center Opera. Okay, there you go.
How many of you are from Atlanta? You're gonna have a big audience. Jeez. Do you sing opera, John?
No, I don't sing. People pay me not to sing.
Go wanted to hear anecdotes. I can always confuse anecdote with antidote. Maybe I've been poisoned. Would you like some of this? Oh, thank you. You mean like stuff that happened to us when we were working? That kind of stuff? I was doing a movie with Frank Sinatra and Spencer Tracy. You know who they are? Y'all are so young, I'm not sure. Anyway, it was a movie called The Devil at 4 o'clock. And they went to location before I did. They went to Hawaii, and I came in about 2 weeks later. Well, needless to say, you know, Frank Sinatra, Spencer Tracy, oh my God, I was somewhat anxiety-ridden. So on the airplane, I wasn't very hungry going over, but of course by the time I got there, I was ready to eat. And they were Frank Sinatra, Spencer Tracy, the director Mervyn LeRoy, and whoever else with the cast were at this Chinese restaurant. So by the time I sat down, they were already in the process of eating, and Frank Sinatra was telling a story. So I was trying to be attentive, but of course I was very hungry. So they put a bowl of soup down in front of me. It was a wonton soup with egg drop and all that stuff in it. So I was paying attention to him, but I did dip into my soup, and I took a slurp, and it went right into my windpipe, and I choked. And when I looked at Frank Sinatra, he was wearing a piece of egg. And I'm alive! How to win over somebody in a matter of 5 seconds. I thought I'd get fired for sure, but I didn't.
Hi, I wanted to ask if both guests what your first exposure to Star Trek was, and your first memories of that, and your impressions.
A little louder, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can everybody hear me now? Great. The question I wanted to ask was what your first impressions of Star Trek were in your first exposure.
First impression and what?
The first time you remember hearing of Star Trek in any way, shape, or form.
I wondered who that guy was with those funny ears. You know, I mean, we really did not know that this was the phenomena that it is. I mean, I doubt that Jay Roddenberry knew that this was going to happen, and I think I was handed the script. I don't think I read for the role. What I liked about it mostly, when I was offered the role of Marlena, I thought, God, that's strange. I don't have to talk with a Spanish accent. I don't have to speak with a Japanese accent. It was just a straight role of a woman named Marlena. So that was terribly exciting. Because I had already played so many Mexican senoritas, you know, in the cantinas, like Zorro and all of those westerns in the 60s. So that was terribly exciting for me. I didn't even know if I could talk straight. Gee, can I really do this? Can I talk without doing this? So that was kind of wonderful. Although I did have something terrible happen. While we were filming, do many of you, have you read this story when we were making Mirror Mirror? 3 to 4 days into shooting, I came down with a strep throat. Woke up with a very high fever, and I could barely talk, and I got to the studio, and they sent me home. They said that if she looks at anybody, everybody will be ill. She is so contagious. So they shut down Mirror Mirror, and they went on to another show, and then I went back and finished filming about 2 months later, which is probably why I was never invited back. That's very costly.
My story, which is probably many of you have heard before, but for the 2 people who haven't,
I haven't.
I was doing a play at the time, and my agent gave me a call and said, "You have an audition tomorrow, Paramount." And I said, "Well, I'm doing a play at the Mark Paper Forum," and I was the co-lead of the play, which means you can't walk out of a rehearsal. So in any case, she said, "It's for Star Trek." And I said, "Star Trek? Haven't they already done Star Trek?" And she said, "Yes, well, I guess they're doing it again."